Hi, this is Jessica Roedde here from the Silverleaf Writers Guild doing a silver spotlight on Dr. Gretchen Roedde. She will be one of the authors at the Northern Ontario Book Fair, which is coming up September 28th and 29th in Cobalt, Ontario. Hi, thanks for coming, Dr. Gretchen Roedde. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for calling.
Now, we're going to just talk a little bit about your book that you'll be selling at the Northern Ontario Book Fair. But first, tell me a little bit about where you're from and your connection to Northern Ontario.
So I was born in Thunder Bay, and then I moved back up north after I finished my medical training, first to Lake Temagami, 1978 to 80, and now I live in Haileybury, and I've lived here since then. And actually, my two books, one of them about Northern Ontario, and then the other one is about the work I've done in global health. I've worked in 40 countries around the world. So I have kind of a local northern perspective, but I also have where there's commonalities with issues in the third world as well.
That's great. Well, can you tell me a little bit more about each book, like what they're called and what they're each about?
So the first one, A Doctor's Quest, it came out initially in 2012, and then it's been updated, and now a second edition came out in spring of 2019 with the work that I've done in mostly mother, newborn, and child health. And I actually wrote that book first, and then I thought, wait a minute, I've been working in Northern Ontario with Indigenous people and small-town palliative care. Why don't I write that story as well, even though that work actually predated my work in Africa, Asia, and the South Pacific. So I wrote Deepwater Dream as a book that came out in the November 2018. So I've sort of got two books that are both pretty recent.
Wow, that's great. I'm looking forward to seeing those on the tables and talking to you at the fair. Is there any project that you're currently working on, something coming up that you wanted to talk about?
I'm working on a murder mystery, so that's sort of a different, moving into fiction will be a different direction, and I do some medical writing as well. So I think that's kind of where I'm at, trying to take what I see in practice and now filter it through the lens of fiction, whereas what I've been doing in the past is basically taking what I see in reality and presenting it as nonfiction.
I see. Yeah, that is really interesting. It'll be really interesting to see how the doctors take on the murder mystery for sure.
Yeah, Temiskaming is the kind of the homicide capital. We're the highest per capita homicide rate in the province. And so there's a lot of death, a lot of it drug-related deaths. So it's something that I see in my daily work as a family doctor.
Oh my, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wish I didn't know it also. And I love reading murder mysteries. That's my main genre that I read. And I also, like to watch things like Bosch, different things on television, fictionalized treatment. So it'll be an interesting new departure.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure I'll have a lot to learn from you at the book fair. I'll look forward to having a nice long conversation with you about all this.
I think it's a terrific thing that you're doing in terms of bringing Northern Ontario writers together, and especially to bring them to Cobalt, which is so historic in so many ways. So I really congratulate you for bringing this together.
Oh, thank you. It's a team effort. We're at the Guild, and we're trying to travel around to bring the book fair to as many people as we can. So we've done Timmins and Sault Ste. Marie so far, and Cobalt next, and then we'll see where we go from there.
That's great. That's wonderful. And you've got a base in Timmins, I understand, as well.
That's where our headquarters are, yes. That's where we got started, yeah. And we have a chapter in Sault Ste. Marie as well now.
So I used to work up in Timmins with the Anishinaabe Nation, which was then Treaty 9, and then the Ojibwe Cree Cultural Center. So Timmins is pretty close to my heart as well.
All right. Well, I look forward to talking to you more about this. So for those listening in, that's been Dr. Gretchen Roedde, who will be at the Northern Ontario Book Fair on September 28th and 29th in Cobalt, Ontario. Come on out to talk with her more about her current and upcoming projects and to meet with the members of the Writers Guild. Thank you very much, Gretchen. It was a nice talking to you.
Thank you very much.